and you were on the call set, Mark, where you were going to go with Dr. Abiola on some couple of issues.
Oh yes, we were going to talk about, I think we were talking about voter turnout just before we went on break. We were talking about some of the issues that affect voter turnout, you know, for any elections at that. But I want us to switch now because it would seem that we've been derailed in that line of discussion. I've been looking through a couple of mails that we have. Some of the issues that we raised earlier on, some of our viewers have responded to them. For instance, Ikechukwu also was talking about card reader and how he was an ad hoc member of staff in this election. That's INEC ad hoc member of staff. And he believes that INEC did do quite a lot to train. He says in their polling unit, or maybe I should just read his mail now, so I'm not quoting him out of context. He says, Ota Osu, an INEC ad hoc staff for Soba local government area of Kaduna State. I'm of the opinion that it's not lack of proper training that caused the inefficiency of the machines, because in my local government, we were well trained on it. But I tell you, in my polling unit, I had 320 voters where only 95 voters accreditation was successful. And so it was even worse for some of my colleagues. Maybe it was a network or something else, but he wants Professor Jaga to throw more light on that because a huge amount of money was sunk into the purchase of the card readers. We're looking at the issue of accountability here, it will seem, and a lot of people will have questions to ask on this particular matter. Maybe before the next elections, what do you think?
Well, I think that, well, the card reader is new to us, and this is part of the lessons that we are learning as we are going in our journey to democracy in Nigeria. There's a need for us to understand why it didn't work well. If he's saying that it's not as if they were not well trained. Professor Jibo had also said earlier that it should be a simple thing that anybody should be able to figure out, but something actually went wrong. And given the kind of reports that we got all around the country, it just didn't work in some places. So it might just not be the human issue around it. It might also be that there's something wrong with the system that we need to fix. And I think it's important for us to fix that before the coming election.
So you do believe that an audit of that will be in order?
Yes, I believe that there's a need for us to look at it and find out. Yes, we have experimented it, so it didn't work in some places. So why didn't it work? And what can we do to ensure that it worked? Just going back a little bit from commenting on what the PPRO said about the police. I think looking at what happened to the Channel TV correspondent there, and you know we can see that because maybe there was a camera there, you know, that was showing. You can then imagine how many people also suffered different kind of violation. I think there's a need for us to begin to look at putting system in place in terms of who can you even call if you are violated by the police. Who do you speak to? I think that they should have a line where we can also report the police when they are overzealous in their work. I think there's a need for us to address that. Then on the issue of protest, I think protest is legitimate. It's just they were in the air of election, the election is in the air, and people are not happy about one thing or the other. They have a right to protest as long as it's peaceful, people can gather together, and so I would not see a reason why the police should say against them or should, you know, do anything that. So I think that there's a need for us to, because there probably will be more of this. You know, there probably would be more of this. So it's important for the police to also see it from the legitimate point of view. And of course, what also bothers me is the issue about, I think the kind of system we have, oftentimes, what we see the police, what they do is if you do anything wrong, they just take justice in their hand and just, instead of even prosecuting or taking you up, what they do is to just say, I have the power, I can just do what I want to do to you.
You mean instant judgment?
Yes, instant judgment, you know, which I think we also need to look at whether that is also appropriate, especially given this kind of period.
Well, Captain Aliyu, I think that it was such a coincidence. I was going to ask you a question before we went to the police spokesperson. about arrangements that should be put in place right now? I know that you've talked about how we've fared before the process. I think we're still very much in the during part of it, even though we've crossed a very critical line in the voting part. But this is the collation where results will eventually be announced. What should we be saying in terms of security arrangements? Today is a Monday. People are already about their businesses, and they do not want any surprises anywhere. What should we be doing to ensure that, you know, there are no surprises?
Yes, indeed. I want to believe at the planning stage of security operations, as we dovetail into the closing stage of the during, we are going to be entering the after-election stage. So we have to close one to enter one. The end of one signifies the beginning of the other. At the after stage, what is key is a worst, best case scenario assessment. We have to do a worst and a best case scenario assessment. Sitting down, we should be saying, best case scenario, what should we see? What should we do? And worst case scenario, what should we see? What should we do? That will inform the switching in the security operation modes. For example, best case scenario, everything went well. Everyone is jubilant. People are shaking hands. Those that are aggrieved are not reacting. They are responding. Then we will have to do what you call post-election events management. So people don't get excited, overexcited. Maybe you start having accidents as a result of carelessness, road accidents, because some people were trying to maybe jubilate, they got over-drunk or something. All those things will happen. We are a social being as humans, so whichever way it goes, the security agencies should be able to switch operational modes to accommodate it. Worst case scenario, let's assume everything just goes.
We're going to come back. I'm afraid we'll have to cut you now.
Yeah, we have to cut you there because, well, we'll be doing pretty much of that today on the show because almost everyone out there, they've been talking about this particular election reporting. This is still the National Collation Center. Larry, yesterday you actually debuted right here, telling us exactly what this is about. I hope you can hear me, Larry, if you can, because I see you, well, shake your head or nod your head, but if you can hear me.
No, okay, let me use this. I can hear you.
All right, thumbs up now. I can hear you too. What exactly is happening? I see you there with Linda.
Yes, we're here now. Like, you know, the collation will start, is set to start by 12. Now, we came this morning and we found the place locked down. So most of the journalists came to the media center where we have just been sitting and waiting. But just a minute ago, one of the INEC officials came here and gave us some information. Cool?
Yes. For now, all journalists will now leave here, the media center, and head to the collation center to await the results as they come one after the other from the states. We're expecting that some states will begin to send the results from their states to the collation center, where would Professor Jega is already there. I'm sure he's already there by now.
He's in the situation room.
Okay, so he will soon move over to the collation center. So we're going to move from here right down to the collation center to await the results.
Yes, but I can tell you that some of the party officials have started arriving. They're being checked, like you were told yesterday by the election manager, the director of the election management team. Not everybody will be allowed into the collation center. So there's a little security check where they're checking who goes into that point. So in a little while, this side of the complex will be emptied out. All of us will move there and the games will begin.
How do you consider security?
Well, in any case,
the security is really, really tight today. Yeah. I know it was an uphill task getting into the International Conference Center, and they're even trying to streamline the number of journalists that will go upstairs. We're not even going to be downstairs anymore. The previous plan was that journalists would sit downstairs with the party officials and all, but now we're being directed to go upstairs where we'll observe the collation process from the gallery.
Well, that's a pretty nice one, Larry, Linda, because now it would seem that, well, it is open to all Nigerians and the world if you've been given a vantage position, so to speak, looking from that place and getting to get us feedback. But basically, initially on the social media were reports that the place was locked down. Was it because of what you saw when you came? Possibly then it wasn't safe for anyone to come in. That was why that story went around town.
Okay, yes, it was really a surprise to me yesterday too when I heard that this place was under lockdown. I think right from the beginning, the security situation here had been pretty tight.
Yes.
You can't drive in here. They blocked out the roads at some strategic points. So at a point, you're diverted to go somewhere else. That has been on since Friday. So it wasn't as if it was a special arrangement. I will agree that yesterday the security was tightened a little bit further, but basically to make sure that only those who are to be here are here. So the lockdown, the shutdown, I really...
Special, there is even an extra accreditation.
Yes.
We have different levels of accreditation. There's an accreditation for you to just be outside. There's another one for you to even enter into the collation center. And I think there's another one for you to enter the situation room.
Oh, yes, that was where I was bounced. Yes. I actually thought I could also go in there and see what the situation was. I was told, thank you, no thank you, please.
Well, I like the word bounce. Reminds us of, well, people get crashing, but anyway, you didn't get crashed. The good thing here is that Professor Jagana's team, they have given accredited journalists a vantage position to cover this.
Yes.
Tell us more, bring us up to speed, enlighten us concerning release of results. We have seen pockets of them trickling in from all corners
Yes.
of the world, especially in social media. What should we be waiting for?
Okay, right now, I think one of the issues I myself have is that I've checked the INEC website. My expectation would have been that those results that have been officially announced by the Commission at the different levels of the state levels, at the senatorial level and all that, should be on their website. There is no extra step that will be taken at the center, but we don't have that yet. So we're still left to be depending
information coming even from the social media.
Even from the social media.
I think this is what we're going to have to take up with one of the INEC officials. Why are they not updating the website so that we know for sure results coming from the states, either the presidency or the House of Reps and the Senate election?
Especially those that have been confirmed.
Can I come in here, Larry?
For here is a presidency, yes.
Don't you think it's quite safer for us not to have them on the website, knowing full well what happened on election day, where hackers got hold of that particular site? If we put numbers there now, it just might be crazy and risky.